Okay. Just tell us your name and what position you're running for.
I'm Donny Shroyer, running for County Commissioner, District 4.
Okay. What is your opinion of the proposed sales tax increase and the effect on small business?
I am against the increase of the sales tax here in Osceola County. I don't think it would, if they were to have the increase, it would not hurt the economy, small business too much, in my opinion, because a lot of the sales and services that Osceola County is are going to have to perform. These small businesses are going to have to perform. People need them anyways, so they're going to continue buying their goods. They're going to continue having services come to their house. It just puts more of a it puts more on the buyer. The buyer has to pay more. It's not fair. We shouldn't have to pay that high price for our community. I'm not for it. I'm against the 1% sales hike.
Okay. In the same type of tax question, with a lot of stuff going on with the county and different measures to try to increase revenue in Osceola County because of falling property values, are you in favor of a 5-cent gas tax?
If our community is in need of money and our local government is hurting, I'm in favor of doing anything that prevents us from losing any local governmental workers. And in order to gain the money to pay the workers and pay our local employees, our governmental local employees, if it's necessary, I'm for it. I think we still need to get back and make every dollar count. We need to make sure that the dollar's being spent wisely and used appropriately for our community.
So are you against any type of cuts in the county government right now to try to combat the spending instead of always trying to find a way to increase revenues? I mean, right now we have a lot of contention with people aren't looking at cutting budgets and cutting salaries. They think it's a no-no, and they automatically turn to increasing taxes. So are you against, cutting department budgets, cutting personnel, cutting staff?
I'm against cutting personnel, but I'm not against cutting budgets. Like I said before, we need to make sure that every dollar spent is spent wisely. If there's some things we can do without, then we need to do without. If there's some things we can't do without, then we need to keep those. Just like our local residents have done. They've had to tighten their belts. They've had to make their life different. Our local government may have to do the same.
Okay. Another big hot topic, and you've already dealt with this in prior interviews and forums, the county fire fee situation. Are you in support of the county fire fee and the increase and burden that it has created for small businesses?
I'm against the fire fees. I've been against the fire fees all along. If the fire department and our fire chief of Osceola County needs more money to keep our services up, and I believe that we have good services here in Osceola County, and I'm in favor of keeping all those services intact. If we need to raise money, I'm in favor of higher general fund tax, so it's balanced across the board for every citizen in Osceola County, not just on ad valorem taxes and adding fees to certain people in certain areas and adding more for this business and less for the nonprofit businesses and different for residential. I like to see it be fair and equitable across the board for every citizen in Osceola County to pay for their salaries and their needs.
Okay. What do you think about public service unions in general?
Service unions, they hurt. Unions, good for workers, bad for business. There's a catch-22 here. Some people want them, some people don't want them. Unfortunately, when you have too many unions pushing for the high dollar, the higher salaries, the higher wages, some corporations and some businesses can't function. To give you one that happened a couple of years back, Consolidated Freightways closed their doors. Told the union, too bad, we can't afford it, bye, closed the business down. You ask a good question. Unions are good at some points, unions are bad. I personally am against the unions. The state of Florida is a right-to-work state. Unions don't do all that much in Florida as a whole, but I'm not in favor of unions.
Okay. With the state budget looking at a $6 billion budget deficit, the county looking at a $35 million budget deficit, and the promised federal money for Sunrail not being allocated, do you support the current Sunrail project?
I am Sunrail. Am I against Sunrail? Yes, I am against Sunrail. Am I against mass transit? No. We need to make sure we plan these things out. And as an educator, I learned that when you're going to teach and make moves and make statements, they need to be educated. They need to be planned out. Planned, and replanned. And I don't think that Sunrail was planned appropriately. The design is terrible. The cost is enormous. There's a better way to get people around than using the Sunrail. And I'd want to see a revisit. Now, with legislation passing and saying we've got to come up with it, right now we're stuck with it. We got to find a way to fund it, and that's going to be a hard thing. And that's where we're at with that.
If elected to the Osceola County Commission for seat 4, and if a proposal would come up to try and back out of the Sunrail, would you be in support of that measure?
Yes, I'm in favor of if we can get out of it. Look at the design of the Sunrail. It's linear. It's not even well designed. It's using 19th century railroad tracks. We got to find something new, state of the art, something cheaper to move people around, and it can be done. It looks like we're going backwards, not forwards.
Okay.